Hello and welcome. My name is Brenda if you're new here, and today is Friday, August 20th. I have been doing a lot of stitching this week. I think some of it went pretty fast because it was just one color, but I think this may have been the most stitching I've done in a week. So I'm just going to get into it and show you what I've been up to. So on my stitching shelf, I just got 275 stitches in because I was busy focusing on other pieces. So I did finish the little, I think it's a spool of thread. So I did finally finish that, but I didn't quite finish the little jar that's next to it, but it's coming along. It's very popcorn, is that? No, I can't remember the what it's called. Confetti. I always want to call it popcorn and I don't know why, but confetti filled, so a lot of color changes, and so that was kind of slow going, and then I was just kind of over it and put that down to work on something else. But yeah, so that's how far I got on that. I probably, for the foreseeable future, am going to be kind of slow going on that one since there's so many SALs that I'm going to be doing. So it's okay. I'm actually enjoying the other things that I'm working on more than I have been on the stitching shelf. So it is what it is. So the other thing I worked on was I got a new start in. Last week I think I had showed you the fabric that I had dyed, and one of them was for the Halloween Oracle SAL. It's Oracle SAL on Facebook, and they have free patterns on there. So I liked the Halloween one, so I got a start on that. And that is where I'm at. On this one, it's kind of interesting that they don't really give you any color guidelines. It's just the pattern and you decide what you want to do with it. So in the group you can kind of see everyone what they decided to do with it, whether it be one color or just a couple or a bunch. And so those are the colors that I decided to go with. I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. But this is the first time that I've worked with linen. This is 25 count Dublin linen. And it's also the first time I have done over 2 threads. So I was a little intimidated because people have said that they don't like working with linen. But I love it. I love working over 2, and I love the linen. So I'm excited to kind of, as I've been trying to do, to try different counts of fabric and find out what I really love to work on. But I have really enjoyed working on this. It's a really loose weave, which is a lot different than what I've been working on. But it kind of made me think of the fabric that I had for the Lord of the Rings that I abandoned. But I was doing it 1/1. I can't remember the name of that fabric. I had it in my head a minute ago. I don't know. I will put it on the screen. But I wasn't liking that, which is why I abandoned that project. But I think I will like it over 2. So I'll probably have that fabric to do over 2 at some point, whatever project I want to do. So yeah, I really have liked that, and I'm excited to continue on because there's already 4 parts out, and that isn't quite all of the first part. So I'm excited to continue on that one. And then the next thing is the Dogs of Disney Summer SAL, which was a free SAL on Facebook by that name. It's over now, so you can't get into it, but I think she plans on putting it on her Etsy. I'm not sure. It's AbbieSueDesigns, and at the moment she has the Cats of Disney Autumn, I believe is the name, on there for sale. So if you wanted to do that one. So I worked on Little Brother from Mulan, and he was a smaller stitch, so he was 424 stitches plus the back stitch. So got him done. And like I said, I don't really remember him that well from the movie, but he's pretty cute. So I'm slowly getting this done. I'm still really happy with how it's looking. So there'll be one more row of dogs, and then it says Dogs of Disney Summer at the bottom, which I'm kind of debating on if I want to have that or not. And they'll also have their names underneath, which I'm also debating on having or not. But I'm happy with how that one's looking. So the next one that I've been working on is the Bats and Boos SAL from Fat Quarter Shop. And this week's release was smaller than last week's. The last two. So I got 309 stitches in for this release. And it's this center part here. So I'm really liking how this is looking. I think I'm okay with this gray that's really close to the fabric. I think it looks good. So let me get closer so you can kind of see what that one. So yeah, there is one more release on this one, and this is also free. You just go to Fat Quarter Shop, and I just searched for Bats and Boos, and then that was easier to find. So yeah, one more release, which is a bigger one next week, and it's gonna have a border around, and then that's it. So this is the one that I've got quite a few stitches in. Oh, I forgot to say I got 954 stitches on my new start, the Oracle SAL. I think I forgot. So this is the Cryptid SAL from the Witchy Stitcher, and this was the first release for the border. And I got 2,087 stitches in on this. I've got almost done here. I just gotta go finish off that edge, and then there's a few stitches here kind of like at the top. So then I will be ready for when the first Cryptid gets released next month. This, like I said, went pretty fast because this is just a repetitive pattern, so you don't really have to look at the pattern when you're doing it as closely. So that went fast, and then this one definitely went fast. It was a little, I just went all the way across and then back and then all the way across, and then there's also going to be, I haven't done this part, this is all black, and then there's going to be these little, I think it was kind of like a star or something pattern across or something here all the way across. So that is what I have on that. So I have, I think, about 300 or so stitches left to go to finish that. So I'm glad that was kind of my plan, was when I saw that next week was going to be more stitching for this one, that I was kind of wanting to get this done sooner so that this could be finished and then start working on that next week. So that is all of my stitching for this week. I got around to dyeing one piece of fabric for the Tale as Old as Time SAL, which is free on Facebook. That's the name of the group. I was in Story Stitches because they're having their Nightmare Before Christmas SAL, and I saw them talking about the Tale as Old as Time one. So both of those are free SALs if you want to check those out. They are starting on the 1st of September, I believe. So it's coming up, and I wanted to, get all ready. I forgot to iron this piece of fabric, but I dyed this. I think I was wanting to have the yellow at the top. It's kind of hard to see. When I first dyed this, I had blue, mainly blue. I wanted it to look like kind of like sky. So mainly blue, and then some yellow, and I used pink. I wanted it to, to look like different colors of a sunset or sunrise, whatever. And it looked really pretty. I loved, this is on opalescent. And I was like, oh, I love it when it was dyed and still wet. But then I set it out to dry, and then it just when it dried, it was way too pale. I could see the pinks and the yellows and the blues, but it was just really, really pale. So then I ran it through some more blue, just blue, and that took away some of the coloring of the yellow and the pink. You can kind of see the yellow, but you can't see too much of the pink anymore. There used to be like a little pale little area of pink, but now it's not really coming through. So I decided I'm just gonna keep it like this, and this will be fine. I debated on going back and putting more pink in it, but I think this will be fine for a sky look. I'm gonna have the yellow on the top, so kind of like, the sun coming through on the sky. So that's what I will be doing that on. And this is, I think this is 28 count linen. Lugana? Lugana. So that will be the first time that I have worked with that count over 2. So we'll see how that goes, how I like that one. So yeah, that's all I have as far as stitching and all of that. This past week I have been playing the Swords of Legends game that I had talked about last week, and it's a little bit different than MMOs that I've played in the past. It's kind of weird because you don't get experience from, killing any kind of mob. You only get from doing quests, which is kind of strange because, I don't know, in all the other games I've played, sometimes you'll just kind of go to a spot and just, like, I would just watch some TV or something and just, kill the same mobs over and over again sometimes just to get a level. But this one is only quest, and there's a lot of quests, so I'm assuming that, it'll go, just quest after quest, which at the moment is fine. I don't know how I'll feel about it long term, but I am having fun. I noticed that I don't play as much as I used to, because I'll be playing for a little bit and then I'm like, I want to go stitch. So I play, and I still was getting a lot of stitching in. So yeah, I've had fun with it though. And we joined an alliance, and they've been helping us out. So yeah. And as far as watching shows, I was watching DNA Geek Crafts, another FlossTuber, and she had mentioned the show, the Marvel show on Disney Plus, What If, which I was already planning on watching, but I was thinking of just letting some of them pile up before we went to watch some, because we're kind of binge watchers. So that was what my plan was, but she had mentioned it, and she was saying that it had Agent Carter in it, and so I really like Agent Carter, so we just went ahead and watched it, and I enjoyed it. The whole premise of the show is kind of like, as the title, what if, you know, what if this happened instead of this? And so this one had Agent Carter in it, and I liked it. She was talking about, you know, the art style she was not really into, but it didn't bother me. Some of the time I kind of felt like a little bit off. Like I didn't feel like when they were talking, the lips were matching sometimes. But that's just nitpicking, I guess. But yeah, I liked it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I don't know what the story is gonna be, but yeah. And the other thing we were watching was Undercover Billionaire, and we were this isn't a new show. I think it was 2019 as the first season, which is what we watched. It's on Discovery Plus, and we really liked it. It was we binge watched it. But the whole premise of the show is this billionaire goes into this town, and he's given $100 to and a truck. I think that was $100 in a truck, I think. And they put him in a town, and you know, his goal is to create a business that is worth $1 million in 90 days. So yeah, we liked that one, and we watched the first season. But the second season we started yesterday, I think. And I'm not as into it this second season. They have 3 different people on there this season, and I'm not really vibing with some of them, so I don't know, we'll see. The guy from the first season, I don't know, he was a likable guy, and you know, the second season I'm not sure yet. So that's all I've got. I hope you guys are doing well and getting a lot of stitching in, and I guess I will see you guys in the next one. So bye for now.